Oh my
everything.
God.
He's like,
No, but you know what? Yeah, when it comes to things like signing new deals, like so, say for example, you had Grealish, right? He wanted to be loyal to the club and he signed a new deal, but he made sure they put a release clause in it.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that Harry Kane might do something like this now? Because what you need to do is you need to make him happy, even though he's staying. And if he knows that he might be tied down to a point where he could end up being in his 30s before he's actually allowed to leave, it could be detrimental to his performances, his commitment, or whatever. Is there a chance he may sign a new deal, get a pay increase, but he puts in an amount that next summer he knows he's guaranteed he'll be going?
Yeah, 100%. A lot of the reports coming out kind of Spurs sort of end is that he's going to get a new deal closer to 400k a week, which would make him like, I mean, he's already our highest paid player at 200k. So we're effectively close to it'll probably be close to doubling it. And I reckon there'll be like an 80 million release clause for next summer. And I tell you where he's going to go. He's going to go United. And I'm calling it now. A year in advance.
I agree.
If it's perfectly, it won't be City. City will go for Haaland next year when the release clause kicks in. United are going to need to replace Cavani next year. Kane's going to want to stay in the Premier League. There's literally only one team available. And to be honest with you, literally the only single scenario where Kane stays past next season is if we win the league this year, which obviously it's just not going to happen. That's the only scenario that he would end up staying because he wouldn't need to move, if that makes sense. So yeah, I can see him going United next summer, to be honest with you.
But I'm not even gonna lie, I don't like hearing that. I'm not even gonna lie. Honestly, I don't like hearing that. I can't have Lukaku at Chelsea, Kane at United, Haaland at City. Nah.
But you got no Salah, man. You guys are good.
Yeah, you guys got Jota and them, man. Like, you're good.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
you got not the
You got Bobby
This Origi slander stops now. Now. No, but you know what it is? It's one of them ones where, as much as our players are good, we've always said at Liverpool that we need to push Bobby into midfield and we need a hitman. Now, don't get me wrong. Jota may prove he can be that guy, but he's not on the level of a Haaland or a Lukaku in terms of his goal scoring. Do you know what I mean? Speaking of the Haaland situation, Lewis, I know you lot are happy with Lukaku, and all jokes aside, he's a bad boy. Don't get everyone knows he is. When it comes to putting a ball in the back of the net, even at United where he wasn't used properly, he was still banging in goals regardless of the situation. But are you lot kind of hiding behind the Lukaku your disappointment because you all thought you were getting Haaland? And we're being honest, you lot did think you were getting Haaland. Are you lot hiding behind it? Are you truly happy? Like, what is that situation at Chelsea?
Some Chelsea fans are hiding behind it. But even that should have disappeared. I'm going to be real with you. I wanted Lukaku from the start over Haaland. I thought with Erling Haaland, it's a long-term pick for Chelsea. But if you want someone who hits the ground running and takes you straight to a Premier League title potentially, it's not Erling Haaland, it's Romelu Lukaku. Erling Haaland, in my opinion, has to adapt to Premier League football, whereas Romelu Lukaku's already been here. He spent most of his career here. He knows how it works. Erling Haaland's coming from the Bundesliga. Bundesliga is easy to score goals. Michy Batshuayi averaged a goal a game in the Bundesliga. He's one of the worst strikers I've seen in the Roman Abramovich era. Paco Alcacer is banged out there. Andre Silva, who was horrendous in the Spanish league, is balling out in the Bundesliga. It's easy to score goals there. It's so open. Erling Haaland comes here against low block FC every other week, and I think he struggles, in my opinion. He gets about 15 to 20 goals a season or something like that. And 20 goals in a season is nothing to turn your nose up anyway. But this guy, he was going to be worth 150 million. 300 overall in the package. Mino Raiola wanted 40 million. Alfie Haaland wanted 40 million. This guy wanted 50 million a year at Chelsea and a get-out clause. And he weren't even going to hit the ground running like that. For me, I was like, you lot are just drinking the Kool-Aid too much when you're looking at Erling Haaland. Like, I get it. Long term, he's going to be one of the best strikers in the world. And he would still adapt to Premier League football and become an amazing centre-forward. But it would take a year and a half for him to adjust to Premier League football. And he would want to leave us anyway. He's trying to be like Zlatan. He would want the get-out clause in the contract anyway. He would have been here for like 3 years. Romelu Lukaku's come here and instantly said, I want to retire at Chelsea Football Club. I know Romelu Lukaku stays here for longer than Erling Haaland stays. And any of the guys who are complaining about, Romelu's nearly turning 30, they play FIFA too much and they think as soon as you turn 30, you decline.
Agree.
Romelu Lukaku is going to fall out for the next
agree.
5 to 6 years. So for me personally, I wanted Romelu Lukaku from the start, so I'm glad we got him. He's a cheaper alternative. He hits the ground running, and he's still going to ball out for 5 years, and he'll probably be here for longer than Erling Haaland is. Some Chelsea fans really pushed themselves onto the Erling Haaland train, and that's really on them because we never really progressed that far in the deal. We had like 2 months of regurgitated Haaland news just going round and round in circles. I had to stream about this shit every single day. It was the same damn news. Dead on. I'd have like 700 people waiting on a stream or something just for me to read the news and say, you know, we heard this like 2 weeks ago, right?
There's the same with us and Kane leaving. Same thing every day. No new bid,
it's
nothing.
the same news.
Same news.
So for me, I was bored of this Haaland stuff. And the guy wants to come here for 300 million, milk us for whatever we're worth, and dip after 3 years. I'm good. I'm glad we got Lukaku. And I know he's going to hit the ground running and take us to the league title as well.
No, fair enough. I mean, at least you got something to talk about. We ain't got nothing to talk about. So at least they gave you something to talk about.
Yeah, it's been peak for you guys. Have you guys even pulled anyone in yet?
Anyway, just moving on. So
anyone in.
Man's at the bar at the end of the night.
That's the end of the night. You're just going home by yourself.
Listen,
one liquid drink and that's it.
Come on, done. Like, and we got our warning. When you hear there's no more drinks being served, you already know the night is nearly over. Now the lights have come on every peak.
You're right, babe. Could you leave me alone, please? All right, babes. All right.
You know what I mean?
My bad.
What's ever left? Next thing you know, you're resorting to using Origi again.
One name in the
last one for me. Last one for me.
Yeah, you know, yeah. On the Haaland thing, because when Lewis was talking, sometimes I believe that hype actually is so real with certain things. You can end up like Kim Kardashian, and you're just the most famous person in the world, and no one even truly knows why you're the most famous person in the world. You just are. Now, there's no doubt Haaland.
Ray J, bro.
Yeah, no, but I mean that was dead. But anyway, so when you look at Haaland and you look at that whole situation, I know he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's clearly good. But did we all drink the Kool-Aid so much so that even his own dad and agent have drank the Kool-Aid? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, as Lewis said, if his dad wants 40 mil and Raiola wants 40 mil, before we've even put his wages or contracts and transfers into the situation. So hold a minute, you got to pay 80 million to his dad and his agent before you can even think about signing him. Is he an overhyped? Is this the most overhyped footballer in history right now?
No. I will say that deal only lasts for this year because there's new FIFA rules coming in January, which means that agents can only take 10% of transfer fees. That's why Raiola was trying to
push for that.
Oh, swear down, right?
Yeah, I didn't even know
that. He's going to get to work this summer. Then no wonder there's
no wonder he's
get that last paycheck.
Backing up.
Bro, Mino takes 40 million if the deal went now. Next year, when his release clause is only 75 million, he takes 7.5. So that's why he wanted to push this deal so quick.
Okay. Oh, that's
even
brilliant.
In that case, I'm sure like Mino and Alfie Haaland will find some loophole or find a way to get some more money into their accounts.
No wonder they don't want Ronaldo to like run down his
contract.
In
terms of Haaland, I do think a lot of people have done that. A lot.
You know something today. I didn't know that, but I'm actually glad to hear that because I don't want agents to be ruining players' careers by having such high demands. You can't even sign the player because you can't afford the agent. Never mind the player. Like that's just all madness.
And it's more the fact the agents are probably forcing the move because they just want a paycheck. Like it's not even the interest of the player. It's just, you know what, let me get another 10 mil this summer from so and so. Do you know what I mean? So
of course. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then I guess maybe that we might as well just address that next year when it happens. Then, because I do feel like Haaland's a good player, but I feel like all this money that's being talked about is over the top. Over the top. I mean, I don't know if anyone agrees or if you all think he's worth the hype, but to me, it seems a bit over the top, this whole Haaland stuff, man.
No, he's definitely worth the hype. For me, he is.
I think he is. It's just that agent's fees and all that goes along with it. If we're talking about this to play himself here, let's be real. This player is he's an alien when it comes to scoring goals, bro. Like you can just see
runs
wherever he goes, he's just gonna bang out. And I kind of agree with what Lewis says though. Like, I think if it becomes Prem, little adaptation period, but I don't even think it'll be that long. I think Lukaku was obviously right to go to Chelsea as well, and I think Chelsea were right to get him. But I'm telling you, if Haaland does end up in the Prem, whoever gets him, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a madness because he's gonna bang goals no matter what. He will bang goals.
All right, let me ask you something. And I think Aaron might be the only person who doesn't look sideways at me for saying this, but we're gonna say he's not a hype player, yeah. And I'm not saying he is. I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm Cal because I'm hosting.
Are you really gonna say what I think you're gonna say, Drifty?
I'm gonna say
if he says it, Cal, don't worry. Go say it.
Now, if we're talking about just natural finishing, and we're talking about the way he's looking as an overall player, and we're talking about age as well. What makes Haaland better than Greenwood, other than he's had more games? No, if we're being honest.
No.
Explain it then. If we're talking about just being a finisher, and we all here know, reluctantly, we have to
comparing Haaland to Greenwood, bro.
No. What I'm saying is, if Greenwood was playing as many games and for as long as Haaland, would he not have as many goals in the Bundesliga?
No, because it's not just about goals, Drift. I think, if I'm not mistaken, since the beginning of last season or the beginning of 2020, he's got the most assists out of strikers. Number 9s, I'm talking. That's Lewandowski, Kane, and all these lot in top leagues, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he's not just a goal scorer. I think the goal scoring is blown out of proportion. That all he does is just get on the end of passes. He does a lot more. He bullies defenders. He can occupy a whole defense by himself. He runs into channels. He's quick as anything. He's strong as anything. He's brilliant in the air. Like, he shoots on sight. He can shoot from different angles. Both feet, like clinical composure. He's a different breed. And look, I've just compared Greenwood to Fowler, innit? Everyone knows I'm a Fowler guy. So for me to even compare him on that level of finishing means I must rate Greenwood. But Haaland is a different problem, man. Like, if Haaland goes...
I understand what. So I'm just saying, I understand what Drifty's saying though, in terms of finishing, because Greenwood, we saw it from time, didn't we? He's got a cold finish, left, right foot, don't matter. It don't matter to him. But when you talk about overall package, overall game, Haaland is ahead of Greenwood. Like, it's not close either. But when you're talking finishing, you've got an argument. But overall player, Haaland has just got it all, and he's so durable. He looks like he's going to go off injured sometimes, and he's back the next game. Like, the guy's just made of something different. And listen, I don't know how long we're going to do this show for, years to come, but he will become a Leeds United player at some point. He's going to join his hometown club. It's going to be a beautiful reunion. His dad is going to get his old 99 2000 shirt out, and then he's going to get his 34 35 shirt out. It's going to be beautiful, man. I can't wait.
So basically, when he...
I'm sorry, Kane. I'm sorry.
No, but Haaland has the physique for it as well. Anyway, that's
forgive me. I'm sorry.
Maybe when he's 45. Yeah.
But obviously, as I said, I'll play.
No, but it's his hometown club because obviously, do you know what though? All jokes aside, like when you think about sentiment, you can see why though. I can understand why you said Leeds, but I just think the way how his career is going right now, and if he still keeps that same agent, I think me personally, I think he's gonna go Real. Actually, I don't even know if he's gonna go Real Madrid because I think obviously Mbappe is going. I don't see the two coexisting. Do you know? Even right now, it's hard for me to even say where he ends up. I don't know what you lot think. I don't see him go. You see, because Real Madrid are putting all their eggs for Mbappe. I'm actually thinking, where does Haaland go? Because Chelsea could afford him, but they've got Lukaku. We're not going to go for him. Bayern Munich is maybe a possibility. Maybe Lewandowski leaves and they might go for him.
I think it's Bayern.
I always thought it was Bayern.
What do you lot think?
I always thought it was Bayern because it makes perfect sense. Like, the Bundesliga suits him. He can continue to stat pad there for years and actually win trophies with Bayern Munich as opposed to Dortmund, where it's just the DFP Pokal every now and then. I think Lewandowski leaves at the end of this year. They go and get Erling Haaland on the cheap. Maybe Lewandowski goes back to Dortmund. Probably not. I don't know where Lewandowski goes. I'm just speculating. But I always had it in mind that Bayern Munich's plan was that they replace Lewandowski with Erling Haaland because the release clause just comes at the perfect time for them. And you know their habit of just taking rivals' players anyway. Like the Bundesliga is just a feeder league for them.
No, you know what? That's actually a good point. Still,
I don't think there's going to be any like final team that he's going to end up at though. I think we're seeing less and less of that now. I think players are just bouncing between top teams way more nowadays than they were before. So he might go to a City, then go to a Bayern, then go to Barcelona, then go to whatever. I think he'll do the rounds. To be honest with you, do a little Zlatan, try and take over every city he can.
Oh yeah, I was just
get out
saying.
clause in our contract, didn't he? That's exactly the plan. If he joined us, he would have dipped after 3 years.
Yeah. He's got
probably won the league and then go.
Still, he does.
Yeah,
like me and my brother was talking about that yesterday. Ironically, Ibra's got the most decorated career in terms of teams he's played for. I think you could ever have. Like if you go and look at Ibra's career, you got Ajax, best team in thingy. You got Man U, arguably the best team in England. Inter and AC at the time they were the best team in thingy. Juve, who the biggest club ever in Italy. Then obviously Barcelona. Like I swear, like he's even
LA
when he went to
Galaxy.
America,
Galaxy.
Mad.
PSG,
mad.
like, he's
The European one's lacking a bit. But other than that,
different. And but he never won the Champions League. That is peak.
Yeah, I find that kind of crazy.
Every time he left the team he was at before, won it.
That's crazy, man.
It happened when he went
because
from Barca to
not
AC,
every
or
team,
Barca to
Aaron.
Inter.
Not every team.
When he left Barca and went to Inter, I think
Inter,
Not every team, surely, innit?
he left Inter, went to Barca, and Inter won it. Then he left Barca, and Barca won it.
Aaron's like, I just realized what you said.
Aaron's like, oh,
Pretty
you're
much,
like
pretty
that,
much.
yeah, big man.
This is Aaron right now.
Send a message like location. I'm gonna come wherever you want. Doesn't matter. Ireland, New York, Brooklyn.
Aaron looks serious for a minute, you know.
You know what else? To be fair, they won the Europa League, so they technically won a European trophy. So you can kind of count it on a technicality.
To be fair,
he was
when we
there.
won it, he was injured, so yeah, you could technically he won it.
Yeah, you can put it on a technicality.
He just needs to go to like Benfica now because haven't Portuguese league taken over League One as like the fifth highest? The UEFA did the rankings or FIFA.
Oh yeah, they changed
did the rankings.
Yeah.
Portuguese league's ranked fifth now, so Messi's not even top 5 leagues in Europe. Peak.
Oh wow!
Damn.
Yeah.